Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Johns Hopkins School of Education Master of Science in Education, International Teaching and Global Leadership, also known as ITGL virtual webinar. My name is Sion John. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions. Also presenting today, I have my colleague from Office of Admissions, and she will introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Tanya McMillan, and I am an admissions coordinator here at the School of Education.
And also presenting today, we have Program Director, Dr. Richard Weisenhoff, and Program Administrator, Miss Betsy Mayotte. And before we get started, I would like to cover a few housekeeping topics. First, today's webinar is being recorded. We will be able to share a link with you after the event is complete. Also, please take a second to see if your mic is on mute right now. Please have your mic on mute at all times during the presentation, and there will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Please type your question in the chat box and we will read and answer your questions. And for today's agenda, we will kick off the presentation sharing an overview of the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Then Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Mayotte will go over the details of the ITGL program. And lastly, we will cover admissions requirements, financial aid, and leave the floor open for questions at the end. And to start, we are one of 9 schools at Johns Hopkins University. We began offering college courses for teachers in 1909 and then became our own school in 2007. We are proud to share that the Johns Hopkins School of Education is consistently ranked one of the top schools in education by the U.S. News and World Report. For school enrollment, we have approximately 2,465 students and offer more than 30 graduate programs, which includes doctoral, master's, and graduate certificate programs. And we also have a strong network of over 22,000 SOE alums. Moving on to faculty introductions. Dr. Weisenhoff is the faculty lead for the ITGL program. He received his Doctor of Education from the University of Maryland, College Park. His research focus is using technology to deliver personalized learning. And lastly, Dr. Weisenhoff's prior experience includes being the Executive Director of Academics for the Baltimore County Public Schools. And moving on to Ms. Betsy Mayotte. Ms. Mayotte is the program administrator for the ITGL program. Her prior experience includes being the associate dean at the School of Education, vice president at Thompson Prometric, director at the School of Education, and director of development at Stevenson College. At this time, I would like to hand the floor over to Dr. Weisenhoff for the program presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this presentation today. Everything that I'm going to be talking about today is available online. So I would hope that all of you would have an opportunity to go visit our ITGL website. The address will be given to you later on in the presentation. I'd like to begin by talking about what the ITGL program objectives are and to highlight some of the words that you see on the screen in front of you. One of the key words that really resonates for me is the word leadership. Our program is looking to prepare leaders. If you are looking in the future to become a leader in an educational environment, whether in the schools, in government, or in business, this program may be the right one for you. We're looking for people who want to transform what schools look like, what school systems looks like, and what our total learning environment is all about. There are different types of courses I'll go into in future slides, but really what I want to highlight is the fact that we're looking to build a solid foundation of both theory and practice while you're taking your classes and extending that outside so you have an opportunity to see how it actually works in the educational environment. Why would you want to come to the ITGL program at Johns Hopkins School of Education? There are 5 points that I'd like to mention here. First of all, if you're looking to become a leader in your field, this program would be one for you. Second, we have a cultural transition person and we provide support. We know that our students are all international students And for many of them, this is the first experience you have in this country. And we want to ensure that you feel comfortable, that everything that when you come here, that you feel welcome. And we try to provide activities and events and just an introduction to you to help you feel more comfortable being at the Johns Hopkins campus in Baltimore. I spoke already just a few seconds about theory and practice. While you're in your classes, you'll get a lot of theory about education, especially education in this country, but more also cutting edge theory and research that's going on around the world. But then we also wed it with practice. We have a lot of our faculty, a lot of our instructors that you'll have in classes have real world practical experience teaching or implementing the things that they talk about in the program. And I think that it's that blend that makes this program unique and also excellent for all of our students. And as I've mentioned, we have excellent faculty. Some of the names are world famous names. You may have already heard from them, seen them, or read some of their work. And then we also include faculty who are practitioners in the pre-K to 12 environment. The program itself is 33 credits long. You finish it in 3 semesters, and all of our classes are face-to-face, which is different from a lot of other programs where they have online classes. Our program is really meant to be taught face-to-face in the classroom. So who is it ideal for? Once again, you can see that we're pushing the whole notion of educational leadership. Leadership is a key component to what we're doing. We focus on primary and secondary education from pre-K up through grade 12 in this country, anything prior to going to college. And we also have a global approach. You'll have classes that really focus more, not just on the United States or China or one specific country, but give you a chance to see what the policies are around the world and how different governments are implementing education in both the primary and secondary environment. We focus on cognitive learning theory. What is the latest theories that are around that talk about how students learn best, what's happening in our brains, and what the latest research about brain theory says that should be adapted to what happens in the classroom. And we really do focus, Johns Hopkins is one of the leading research facilities, universities in the country and in the world. And a lot of our work focuses on what the educational research says and gives you an opportunity to really dip your toes into research, into conducting research and studying what the latest research is. This is a quick overview, and then I'm going to go into a little more detail in a second. The program is 33 credits in length. You don't take the same number of credits each semester. We vary it, and there's reasons for that. If you are interested in the TEFL focus area, which is new beginning next year, it's 35 credits long. The additional 2 credits are done in the spring and in the summer. And they add to, we needed to do it that way because of the amount of material that we want to ensure that you learn within the TEFL focus area. As I said, all of our classes are face-to-face in classrooms. Our average class size runs between 15 to 20 students with each professor. It is all done at the School of Education here in Baltimore at the Hopkins University campus. This year we have 120 students. So our current cohort has 120 students, and we're looking to accept 100 students for the upcoming year. The program is done in 3 semesters. We begin with a fall semester. You'll be expected to be here at the beginning of the fall semester, and actually the week before, and I'll explain why in a second. And you'll take your credits in the fall. In the spring, you'll come back for a summer session, and you'll complete the program by the 3rd week in July. There are 5 focus areas. A focus area is an opportunity for you to really take some additional courses with students who have the same interest as you do. There are 3 courses in the focus area beyond other requirements that you have to take. The areas are early childhood for those students who are interested in studying pre-K up through approximately grade 2, The early child focus area would be one that you would be interested in. Digital age teaching and learning is a focus area that really takes a look at the technology's impact on the instructional learning process. And you'll take 3 courses and really give you an opportunity to see whether or not technology does improve instruction, does enhance instruction. Creative and innovative education for those students who are interested in learning about different kinds of programs that they might want to implement when they go back to their home environment. Really taking a look at creativity and the gifted students and creating programs that would be a little bit more cutting edge and exciting. Not that all other programs aren't, but just a little bit different than what the normal student would take in a classroom. Entrepreneur education, this is our first year in our entrepreneur and education program. Those are students who might not necessarily be expecting to go back and work in a K-12 environment, but maybe looking to open up a business or work in a business that focuses on education. Things like online development of curriculum that could be offered, or after-school programs for students. We also do a little bit with intrapreneur in that, and intrapreneur are students who are people who are in K-12 environment, but are looking to do things a little bit different than what the norm is. And what we're very excited about, and we'll have a slide in a second, then I'll talk about that, for the upcoming fall new cohort is TEFL, which is Teaching English as a Foreign Language, for those students who would like to go back to their home schools and home environment and teach English to students who are non-English speakers. Within the TEFL focus area, there are some points that I would like to mention. First of all, you have to follow the same admissions criteria. So whatever the requirements are for admissions, and we'll speak to that in a second. For all of the ITGL classes, it's the same for our TEFL students. Students who complete the program will receive a Master of Science in Education. That is what the diploma will say. There are 5 different courses, and you can see them here, that students will take. If these are the TEFL focus area courses. The first 3 are 3-credit courses, and they're done in order: the fall, the spring, and the summer. And then also in the spring and the summer, there are 2 additional 1-credit courses that you have to take, and those are the last 2 courses that you see listed there. To complete the TEFL program, you would take 35 credits, and the tuition for that is a little bit higher because of the additional credits. It's $51,000, and Ms. Mayap will talk about tuition in a few minutes. So what are the advantages of the program? Well, first of all, we have an ITGL orientation, which I hinted at a few minutes ago. With the ITGL orientation, all students come here the week before classes begin, and we provide a few days where we help you understand the Hopkins way of doing things. We take you on tours of the area around Hopkins, and it's a team building opportunity. One of the nice advantages of the ITGL is that you will be part of a cohort of students. You'll be taking your classes with the same students, and you'll have an opportunity then to have your own support structure of fellow students who will be there to work with you. And we do some team building opportunities so that you have a chance to meet all of us in a more social setting, and also get comfortable with the Baltimore area and Johns Hopkins University. We have some activities that we do throughout the entire time that you're here. They're cultural exchange and enrichment activities. Last year, when we were all on campus together, the students took a trip to the beach together. They went to a baseball game. They went to different markets that were around. They did some cultural events like going to movies or going to shows together. It's just an opportunity and these are all optional, but they're a way for you to really learn more about the United States and its culture beyond what you would have in the classroom. We have extended learning activities, and extended learning is a chance for you to go to see what happens in the classroom, to see how the research that we talk about, how the theories that we talk about actually happen in the real world. And in order for that to happen, we realize that a lot of our students do not have transportation when they come here because they're only here for a short time. So we ensure that you have a way of getting there through group transportation. I've already mentioned the social events and outings that we have. And so I don't need to say more about that. The notion of blending formal and informal learning together is one that I think is very important. The formal learning occurs in the classroom, in your typical traditional classroom environment. Although the way the United States colleges works is far different from what you'll find, I think, for the most part, in your own home colleges. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. But those are the more formal experiences that you have. The informal occurs outside of the classroom, either through the social events, but more importantly, through the extended learning and other opportunities that we provide to our students, so they get a chance to see how education could be extended, for example, to go to a museum. And how would you use a museum as part of your instructional program? How would you go to an aquarium and look at the educational programs an aquarium has, and how can you bring it back into the classroom or whatever educational environment you have and make it part of what you're all about? To help the students, we all know that English is not your native language, and there are problems with understanding the different phrases that we use that may be more colloquial. So we have tutoring services that are available to all of our students free of charge. So if you have a paper that's due and you're unsure whether or not you really captured the meaning correctly, you can set up a time to meet with one of our tutors. The tutor will go over the paper with you, making suggestions for change and ensuring that your papers are working well. In addition to just the writing component of it, they'll also help you understand the research. One of this year's tutors is actually a graduate of the program and knows really well what we do in our program. And he has been working with students on a regular basis. So that opportunity for language and tutoring support services, which again is free of charge, is something that's sort of unique to ITGL. So here's the way that the curriculum is broken down to try to help you understand the way that we do things. In fall of 2021, you'll take 11 credits. There'll be three credit courses, and I'll explain what that is in a few seconds. 1 2-credit seminar, and then there's that extended learning time, and that equals 11 credits. We don't do as many credits in the fall because we realize that you're getting used to being here on Johns Hopkins and understanding the way education works in a master's program here in the United States. So we limit it to 11 credits. Spring is where we offer the more credits. You have to take 14 credits in the spring, broken down into 4 3-credit courses, that seminar 2-credit, and then the extended learning again. And then in the summer, we have a limited number of courses because what you're doing is you're completing your capstone project then, which is a digital portfolio that all students must complete and present to faculty at the end of the summer session. There are 2 3-credit courses, 1 2-credit course, and actually we are not doing extended learning over the summer. We take that away so that it gives you more time to work on your capstone project. There are 3 types of courses that you take while you're here at Hopkins. The first is courses for all students who are getting a Master of Science in Education. The Master of Science Education is more than just an ITGL. We have students in different programs who also will receive a Master of Science in Education when they complete their program. And you may find students in those classes who are not ITGL students. There are 3 courses that students must take that every student who is interested in getting a degree of the Master of Science in Education must take. There are ITGL core courses that we expect all of our students who are in ITGL to take, no matter what your focus area, you would be in that class. And you may find yourself with students who are not part of your focus area in those classes. Things like mind, brain, and teaching, global leadership, introduction to entrepreneurship in education. There are 4 courses that students will take. And as I said, you will be in those classes with students who are not just within your focus area. And then there are the focus area courses. I would also, as I said, there are 3 courses that you take within your focus area courses. All the courses that I'm talking about here, all of the courses, or the 11 courses that you'll take within the program, you can find when you go to our website. I really suggest that you go over there and take a look because each course is listed with each by focus area, and you can see the descriptions for what the different classes are and what you'll learn within those classes. I'm now going to turn it over to Ms. Mayotte, who will talk about student testimonials and other information for you.
Good morning, everyone. So happy you were able to join us for this webinar today. We put a slide in our presentation that we're so happy to share with you because we like for our applicants to have a chance to see what some of our previous students, students who are in the program right now, or even students who have graduated from our program, so they would be alums, what they have said about the program. So we've included just a few of these in our student testimonials slide right in front of you. I think some of the major themes, the major areas of feedback, one of the most, what we think is heartwarming areas of feedback for us is that how much the students in the program feel a connection. So they feel a connection to their fellow students because of the cohort nature of this program. They feel a connection with their faculty, with their instructors, and they feel a connection with the university, you know, as the year goes by and as students actually graduate from the program, they realize they are a part of a global network because they are an alum of the Johns Hopkins University. And so we like to share with you the reflections of some of our students right here. We hope that when you are able to take a look at this presentation and you take a look at our website, you will see the testimonials that are included there as well. You can see again, our students recognize that they feel they're part of a big family, supportive teachers and classmates. In the second statement here, the experience will be like a shining point in my life's journey. In the third statement, I like to highlight just a few words in each of these statements. The third statement, we love the idea that our students recognize that there's an integration of what they're learning in the classroom teaching with the extracurricular activities. And then in the final statement here, one of our former students told us that they really understood that this global focus on leadership in education is going to position them to address future challenges in education. I think that's what you were hearing from Dr. Weisenhoff as he was describing the goals of the program. We can move on to the next slide.
All right, thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Mayotte. So we continue by going over the application requirements. Applicants must submit a completed application, which can be found on our website. The application fee is $80. You will need a current resume or CV. Next, an essay must be uploaded. Please visit our website on the admissions webpage to learn more about the essay portion of the application. 2 letters of recommendation. If you're unable to have one academic letter of recommendation, we will accept 2 professional letters of recommendation. Next, we need all official transcripts, including institutions you may have taken courses but did not receive a degree. Again, this is from all post-secondary institutions that you have attended. Lastly, the application process begins with a 15-minute language proficiency screening phase. Applicants who complete the screening phase and meet the admissions criteria will be instructed by ACEE to submit an online application. Please visit our website to learn more about the language proficiency screening phase. And for fall 2021 admission, applicants are encouraged to complete the application requirements as early as possible before the program reaches capacity. Application decisions are delivered to candidates on a rolling basis, typically 4 weeks after an application is submitted with all materials received. And our final application deadline is March 31st, 2021. There are a few additional steps you need to take in order to complete the application process if you're an international student. For non-US citizens from countries where English is not the official language, you are required to submit a TOEFL or IELTS score. And if you hold qualifying degrees or have earned credits for institutions outside the United States, you must have your academic records evaluated by an accredited independent credential evaluation agency before you can be considered for admission to a degree program. And please note that it is the student's responsibility to provide the necessary paperwork and payment to an approved evaluation service and to request that an official copy of the report be sent to the Johns Hopkins School of Education Office of Admissions directly from the evaluation agency. And lastly, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Office of Admissions is currently experiencing heavy delays in mail, which is why we encourage you to have your transcripts evaluated as soon as possible. And if you're interested in applying for financial aid, we strongly encourage you to apply for financial aid when you start your application. And please note that the recommended submission of the FAFSA application, which is next year, March 15. And please visit our website if you have any questions relating to financial aid. You'll find contact information for the Office of Financial Aid and details of loans and scholarships that are available. At this time, I'll hand the floor over back to Ms. Mayotte.
Thank you. You can see on the slide in front of you information that is also available on our website. And so we'd like to make clear the mandatory costs for the program. So for all students, the tuition is $48,000. If you are in the creative and innovative, early childhood, digital age teaching and learning, or entrepreneur focus area. As Dr. Weisenhoff said, for those of you who are interested in the TEFL focus area, the tuition for that program is $51,000 due to the additional credit hours provided. All JHU students, full-time international students, are required to purchase the Johns Hopkins insurance through the university. That's $3,500 is what we're estimating. And the technology fee is required. All students pay an application fee. And so you can see the total mandatory cost of the program is at the bottom line there, $53,080, or if you're in the TEFL focus area, $56,080. Now, all students are required to pay a non-refundable tuition deposit of $3,000 upon acceptance of the offer of admission. And we can move on then to the next slide. This slide presents information about optional services in addition to what all students pay for their tuition. So in other words, if you are interested in an optional service that would provide housing for you, you can find information about that right here. One of the distinctive benefits of the ITGL cohort is that we offer optional services to international students who are interested in purchasing these services. One of them helps students by providing housing that is fully furnished, has all the utilities included, is near campus, and extremely convenient for students. What we have learned over the years is that many students who are traveling to the US would find it more convenient if they arrived in Baltimore and their housing was provided for them through the ACE service of housing. And again, you can find all of the details about what is included in the housing by visiting our ITGL website. So I won't go through all the details here, but you can see by the very long list of services that the housing is very inclusive. The second optional services that is provided to students who are interested is a career services package. So what this means is that if you are coming into the ITGL cohort program, and in addition to all the coursework and extended learning, you would like to have a particular focus on career coaching for yourself, you can actually purchase this service as well through our partner, ACE. And the career services help you by providing an assessment of your current status in terms of career readiness, helps you with advising and planning and coaching, and many activities throughout the year that are available to you if you purchase the service. And again, more information, all of this information is available on our ITGL website.
All right, thank you for attending today's virtual webinar. At this time, we would like to open up the floor for questions. Ms. Mayotte and Dr. Weisenhoff, we received a message. The question is, how long do I have to set my offer after being admitted?
Ms. Mayotte?
Sure, I'm happy to address that question. When students receive the offer of admission, they are given a period of time, I think the letter might say 2 weeks, within which you need to accept your offer of admission. We do advise that because, as you heard Sion say at the very beginning, we are in a rolling admission process this year. And when students ask if they can have an extension of that deadline, our answer is that it is up to you if you delay and want to postpone making a decision about accepting or paying the deposit. We're proceeding with the admission process. Our admissions committee is continuing to review applications until the program reaches capacity. So I think in summary, I would say that it's best to follow the guidelines and the deadlines that we share with you. We understand this is a big decision. But we hope that by providing you with all the information we can and being available to you for any follow-up questions, that we can help you make that decision.
The next question we have is, what is the minimum GPA requirement for this program?
So minimum GPA requirement is 3.0.
Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. Next question we have is, I noticed that I'm required to fill out the overseas studying working experience in the screening interview, but I did not have that kind of experience before. I suppose the closest thing to this is that I would try out one IELTS test abroad once a year to stay well informed and discover more interesting facts about the ways people think of English learning in different countries. As an IELTS teacher, I have done the best I could. Would that be okay?
Ms. Mayotte, you want to answer?
Well, sure, I'm happy to say a few words, and then Dr. Weisenhoff, please add. So we, in the admission process, try to give our applicants every opportunity we can to tell us about yourself, to tell us about your experiences, and also to tell us about your your interests and what you're hoping to gain from the program. So I would think that if you could share what you have learned from your experience as an IELTS teacher, that would be very helpful to the admissions committee. And I would invite Dr. Weisenhoff, please, to add anything to that.
I would agree with exactly what Ms. Mayotte said. You know, as a member of the admissions committee, when we take a look at the applications, we're looking at the total student, and we want to ensure, first of all, that we're a good fit for the student and that we're meeting the needs of the applicant. I don't want to accept somebody who has misunderstanding about what the program is all about, what we're trying to accomplish within the program. So we very carefully look at the whole application, because we want to make sure that, first of all, you're a fit for us, but equally as important, that we're a fit for you, and that you're not coming here with misconceptions about what the program will provide.
Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. Next question from Clara is, are there any former entrepreneurs teaching in the entrepreneur and education focus area?
Yes, in fact, all of our teachers in the entrepreneur program are all entrepreneurs. We were looking for people who have a little bit of classroom experience, not necessarily that being their focus, but more that they've worked in the entrepreneur environment and they are working in businesses that they're promoting to support education. So that's that whole notion of practical experience. You'll hear from all of them about their startup companies, the companies that they're working on, the successes they've had, and the problems that they've had in creating entrepreneurships in the education field.
All right, thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. The next question we have is, will we be meeting on campus if admitted in the fall of 2021?
That's a good question. It's my expectation right now that we will be face-to-face come the fall. With the vaccines now in place, with the embassies opening up overseas, I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping the best that I can to ensure that all of our students will be meeting on campus once you're admitted into the program. However, we all know that the pandemic has not ended, that the numbers are still high. And right now, Johns Hopkins University is open, limited for students on campus, although the School of Education is not offering their courses that way. We strive and we endeavor to ensure that our students are safe. That's number one on my priority list. And I would not have students come if the environment was not a safe environment. We make the decisions as they come up. Right now, for this semester, all of our students are doing remote learning. I'm hoping in the summer that we'll be able to get everybody over here, but if not, then we'll develop a schedule that will be for everybody to ensure that they're, most importantly, safe and that we're providing the best program we can for our students.
Thank you. Next question we have is, if I am unable to pay the admission fee, is there a way I can still apply? Second, are there scholarship opportunities available to study this course? So I will answer the second portion of that question. I did actually just put a link in the chat area to international scholarship resources and websites you can look at if you're not a US citizen to get funding options for international students. Regarding the admission fee, the non-refundable enrollment deposit, I will defer to Betsy Mayotte about that.
Thank you, Tanya. Yes, Tanya's response was accurate, and that is financial aid is available to U.S. citizens. So we always include that slide because we do have U.S. citizens in the program. From each year we've had a few. Most of our students are international students. Unfortunately, United States federal financial aid is only available to U.S. Citizens. However, I'm delighted that Tanya shared the resource about other resources for financial help for international students. When we receive this question, we always like to steer applicants and students towards other sources for financial help. And I hope that's helpful to you. I would say, let me add one additional comment here. We have had from time to time students apply and enter the program who are receiving funding from scholarships in their own country. And it's always delightful when we see that students are able to find those sources of funding. So I would encourage you also to see if within your own country there may be some sources of support, scholarship support for programs such as ours. And we do everything we can. If this requires additional paperwork and support from Johns Hopkins, we're always happy to help with that.
Thank you, Betsy. Next question we have, I heard that extended learning classes could be research assistants from last seminar. Can any students get a chance to be a research assistant if they want? If not, what do they need to do to prepare to get this opportunity?
Good question. So we do have students that, as part of their extended learning, they are helping out with research in some areas. What we do with our extended learning this year is we have an extended learning fair where we take all of the possible opportunities available and we allow students to apply for them. Everybody has an extended learning opportunity. Whoever is offering that opportunity, though, selects the student that seems to be the best match for them. This semester, we do have some students who are doing research. In addition, we do, every once in a while, a research position will open up and the faculty will send me a note as the faculty lead saying, I need a research assistant. It's an all call, which means it goes out to all of our graduate students and they all have an opportunity to apply for it. I know one that students are applying for right now, digital age teaching and learning program, which is different than what we're doing in our focus area, has a need for somebody to help with research in the Baltimore area on gamification. And several of our students have applied for that. So opportunities arise because we are a research university. However, there aren't as many as you might imagine, but as they do apply, we make them available to all of our students. And as far as preparing for it, really what they're looking for are students who are graduates from successful graduates from undergraduate program and that are part of the Hopkins programs.
Thank you. The next question we have is, will the courses be held online? And if yes, will we still have extracurricular activities as before?
The classes are meant to be face-to-face, as I've said. So my expectation is that they are going to be face-to-face unless the pandemic does not lessen in its intensity. As soon as Johns Hopkins University determines that it will be face-to-face, then that's exactly what will happen. However, if we find that that the pandemic has not lessened in its intensity, then we will be looking at alternative methods for delivery. I will tell you that when we go online, the classes are still synchronous, which means you interact with the professor live. It's not go on, do an activity and submit some work. The professors meet online with the class. I'm doing that right now. I have 3 classes and I meet at 9 in the morning here with the students and we hold our regular class as if we're in the classroom together. So that's really the way we really plan to do it. Extracurricular activities are a little bit harder if you're not in this country. We have students who are in this country that are doing their own extracurricular activities. At this point, we are not providing those kinds of experiences because it's just not safe. But the expectation is that once we are back on campus, that the extracurricular activities will resume.
Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff. The next question we have is relating to the screening interview. The earliest available time spot for me is on March 1st. Is that too late for me to apply for this program?
I'd be happy to answer this. question, no, it is not too late. So as we heard earlier in the presentation, the deadline for a completed application is March 31st. So if you have a screening interview on March 1st or early in March, that's perfectly fine. What you want to be doing in the meantime is make sure that everything else is submitted. All of the required material for your application you want to have submitted through the Slate system. And then when you complete your screening interview, whether it's March 1st or even later in March, as soon as that interview is submitted, we will have that uploaded into the Slate system so that our admissions committee can review it. So please, by all means, go ahead with that. And we encourage you to complete everything else as well. I noticed a question earlier that I'm not sure if we're going to go back and address it, but it's a question about paying tuition monthly. Is that possible? The answer, unfortunately, is no, that's not possible. The reason is that our ITGL cohort is a program that is completed within one academic year. And so if there are any issues around, we've always required that the full tuition be paid before the beginning of the program.
The next question we have is, there we go. I did not see the 3 required courses of this program from the website. Can I know what they are?
They are there, Alice. I'm not sure why you weren't able to look at them. Ms. Mayotte, I'm correct in assuming that, first of all, it depends upon which focus area. Each focus area has a different 3 courses. So it depends upon which focus area you're talking about. But Ms. Mayotte, aren't the courses for the focus area, all the courses are listed in the on the website, correct?
Yes, all the courses are listed on the website. If you are, I believe this question is from Alice. And if you are asking about the TEFL focus area in particular, I would say that if you're looking for the brief, the name of the course would be on the website, but the description of the course, the detailed description is in the works right now. I believe that's correct, Dr. Weisenhoff.
Yeah, that is correct. Dr. Midland is still working on those to be added.
So Alice, if you want to respond and let us know if we answered your question, that would be great.
Thank you, Betsy. Next question that we have is, I am wondering how to prepare for the screening interview. Do you have any suggestions?
So I'm happy to address this question. And I think that if you have an understanding that the purpose of the screening session is for us to assess your English language proficiency, I think the most important thing you can do is simply to be yourself. We're really looking for, I would say the admissions committee is looking for how you present yourself as you speak in English. So I think just to have a sense of comfort that you will be able to answer questions about your experience, answer questions about your interest in the program. And I think that if you can come into that screening session feeling that we are interested in knowing about you, that may help you with a level of comfort.
Okay, great. Next question we received privately. Are we able to select 2 focus areas?
That's a great question, and we get that every time. Believe it or not, we do an open house. Unfortunately, you can't. Because of the nature of the way the program is delivered in a cohort format, there's not enough time to do the 3 focus area courses that you would take, and then an additional 3 focus area courses beyond that. So it's one of time constraints more than anything else for you to be able to do that. So no, unfortunately, that's not an option that we have for our students.
These have been wonderful questions.
All right, so it looks like there are no more questions. Thank you again for your interest in the Johns Hopkins School of Education, and we look forward to hearing from you. And here are some important contact information on this slide. Any admissions related questions, please reach out to Ms. Tanya McMillan. And here's also Miss Betsy Mayotte and Miss Carol Herman. Any program-related questions, please reach out to Ms. Mayotte and Ms. Herman. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Weisenhoff and Ms. Mayotte, for a wonderful presentation today.
Thanks, everybody. It was nice talking with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.